Welcome to this episode of Bramasol's series featuring real-world case studies in the digital solutions economy. In this episode, Patrick Kelliher, Chief Accounting Officer at Vivint Smart Home, talks with Bramasol's John Froelich about Vivint's success with optimizing DSC billing and seamlessly integrating revenue recognition processes.
Well, hello, Patrick, and thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here, John.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the effect of the digital solutions economy on your company, Vivint. Why don't you take a minute to tell us a little bit about, what's your role and what is Vivint?
Sure. So my role is I am Vivint's Chief Accounting Officer, so I'm responsible for all of the accounting for the company and the transactional activities for the business. And Vivint itself we're a leading smart home and security company for residential smart home security. We have about 1.8 million customers in North America, in the U.S. and in Canada, and the company's been growing quite quickly, and we're actually expanding into new areas. Most recently into an insurance, and then also into solar as well.
Oh, wow. Solar. Fantastic. So you guys offer your services as a subscription. You've been doing that pretty much all along. So what's changed for you over the past couple of years that's made it different?
Yeah, I mean, really, our business and our model has changed quite a bit over the last few years. Until 2016, really, we were customers just entered into a service agreement with Vivint where they paid a flat fee for the services with Vivint as long as they were with the company. Since 2017, we now allow customers to finance the purchase of their equipment that is being used in the system. And we generally have a relationship with a third-party financing partner that we utilize. So the customer will purchase that equipment and have that financing arrangement, and then they have a separate service agreement with us, with Vivint, and that service agreement continues as long as they're a customer. The equipment purchase is financed generally over 60 months, and then once that's done, they no longer pay for it. So we now have multiple sort of streams of customer payments that we're having to manage, as opposed to where historically we just kind of had the one with each customer.
Right. And you've also mentioned to me in our previous conversations, you've gotten a lot more into biller direct or payer direct, things like ACH's credit card payments.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, really, our objective is ideally, we'd love to be in a position to where we're not issuing hard copy invoices to any customers. Currently, about 90% of our customers pay either through credit card or through ACH, with about 2/3 of those being ACH. And clearly, our objective would be to maximize the amount that's occurring through ACH, because you're not dealing with, credit cards that get maxed out, or customers having to deal with the credit cards expiring and things of that nature. So clearly that, we bill in advance and charge those customers on their anniversary date of their installation. And like I said, our objective is that we never issue another paper invoice and get a check from a customer ever again.
Right. And so that's had also a smoothing effect on your income. I mean, on the money that's coming in, as opposed to that kind of lumpy, you bill them once a month or once annually, right?
Yeah, it's been great. And one thing that's also helped too with that is, because it's a more streamlined process and not having to issue hard copy invoices, and that historically, when we were doing that, what we were doing is we would kind of do a couple of billing runs a month. And generally the first of the month was kind of the big billing run. So we'd have this real lumpy sort of cash flow. Now, because of the fact that the process is so much more streamlined, we can just bill those customers, like I said, on a daily basis. And so it really smooths out our cash flow and minimizes our accounts receivable as well, which really is helpful.
That's fantastic. It, of course, has had an interesting effect to you on the revenue recognition side. in part because you allow your customers to do a couple of things. One of them, of course, is allowing them to choose the date. Their anniversary, they might be on anniversary date, but you guys are wonderful in that you allow us to all kind of pick our own date that we prefer to pay, as well as upsell, cross sell. How has that had an effect on your RevRec?
Definitely. It is because of the fact that from a revenue perspective, the day the customer is installed is really when the service begins, and how we provide that service is really based on those anniversary dates. So by giving customers flexibility to have that billing date be different than their anniversary install date, we have to take that into consideration from a revenue recognition perspective. So that's certainly something that we need to consider. And then with customer upgrade, the ability for customers to upgrade and buy additional equipment or additional services, certainly that has an impact on us, especially in an ASC 606 world. It used to be that under ASC 605, when a customer upgraded, we just recognized the revenue on that immediately. Now, it's considered a material right to the customer, and so we have to defer that revenue over the remaining contract, or even extend the revenue, the term of the revenue recognition. So that piece has had a real dramatic impact on how our revenue gets recognized.
Yeah, and so we worked with you. I met you 5 years ago when we first started the RAR journey. How has SAP really been there for you to be the platform that allows you to really make all these changes?
Yeah, and I mean, with RAR, the revenue accounting and reporting module of SAP has really been, that's really, our business actually lends itself very well to an RAR module with the recurring revenue model that we have, but also because of some of this complexity that ASC 606 has introduced. Historically, we were trying to do that through some BI reporting, and the logic is very ugly.
That's an understatement. Yeah.
Yeah, and very difficult to maintain and ensure that it's correct. So it's really helped us from the perspective of being able to manage the complexities around upgrades and some of those things that ASC 606 has generated.
Well, fantastic. Well, Pat, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Any last words for anyone you want to give advice if they're moving on to a subscription model for people to think about?
One thing is definitely focus on making sure that you have as much consistency and homogeneity in terms of your billing that you're doing. That's going to facilitate things, and like we talked about, definitely getting customers on direct bill platforms like ACH is going to make your life a lot easier under a subscription model.
Awesome. Well, Pat, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it, John.
Thank you for watching this episode in Bramasol's Digital Solutions Economy Case Study Series. For more info on optimizing DSE, visit www.bramasol.com.